technical to help you out. But thank you for joining us. We're delighted to be here today with Dorota and Hillary, also Marnie from Reed Manufacturing, Pennsylvania company, and to talk a little bit about some of the things we're seeing online and digital tools that we're seeing that can really help exporters. So just while the last of you are logging on, let's do some quick introductions. So, as I said, greetings, everybody. We're really pleased that Dorota and her team from the Northwest Pennsylvania Regional Planning and Development Commission can host us and be here and extend this welcome to the Pennsylvania companies. Thank you. We're also here with Dora's colleague Hillary, and Hillary, sorry we didn't put you into that space, but Hillary will also be joining us and talking a little bit about things. And we're super delighted to have Marnie. Marnie Caldwell is the marketing director for Reed Manufacturing, and Reed is a proud Pennsylvania company. And Marnie's going to talk to us a bit about her experiences international. They've been doing international business for many years, and an experienced international exporter from Pennsylvania, and Marnie's going to be talking a bit about her experience in Reed Manufacturing, how they've gone about, what they're looking for, how they interact, their routes to market, and so on. And myself and Joelle, we're here from IBT Online. Joelle Lazzarotto is the online marketing director. She heads up the online marketing, our digital marketing team at IBT Online, and me, I'm the chief content officer at IBT Online. But before we really head off, I thought we'd ask Dorothy just to say a couple of words, introduction and welcome, and also for Hillary. So Dorothy, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, thank you, Susanna. Good morning or good afternoon, I should say. We would like to welcome everybody to the webinar titled E-Commerce and IA Strategies for Pennsylvania Exporters. Again, my name is Dorota Heffernan, and I'm the International Trade Manager here at the Northwest Pennsylvania Regional Planning and Development Commission. And I work alongside our dear Hillary Bino, who is our International Trade Specialist. The Northwest Commission is a regional economic development agency. We are located in Oil City, but we serve 8 counties in northwestern PA. And we have a variety of programs serving businesses as well as municipalities and local governments. And as a nonprofit agency, we are dedicated to strengthening businesses and job growth and improving the environment for economic and community development. Our international program is one of 10 regional export networks. We are called the REN in the Commonwealth, and we provide the export technical assistance to our clients, and we are also the liaison in between regional companies that wish to grow their exports and Pennsylvania's 13 authorized trade representatives serving 44 markets worldwide. We are funded in part by Pennsylvania's Department of Community and Economic Development's Office of International Business Development. Pennsylvania and its administration are strong supporters of exports and have been for many years. Exports help companies grow and retain jobs. Exporting firms are able to pay higher wages and provide better benefits to their employees. And exporters dedicate more resources to innovation and therefore help companies stay competitive domestically and globally. The international landscape has changed forever since the COVID pandemic. The way we conduct international business is different from what it was just 5 years ago. Even though companies are traveling internationally, the selection of business and travel destinations and their frequency are chosen way more carefully. Our clients have learned to conduct a good portion of international marketing and preliminary selection of prospects online, which prompted us to partner with IBT Online on this training event to help raise awareness as to which tools are available to the exporter. As the regional export network, it is our objective to provide regular training, be it in person or online, to help our clients become more fluent in international trade subject matters. We are very excited to partner with IBT Online for the topic of e-commerce and AI strategies. Today's presentation will raise awareness as to how your company can leverage AI and e-commerce tools to scale your business globally. We were very pleased when we found out that we share a joint client with IBT Online. Reed Manufacturing is based in Erie, Pennsylvania, and we have worked with Reed Manufacturing for many years in support of their export growth. And before I hand it back to Susanna, I would like to provide Hillary the opportunity, Hillary Bino, to talk briefly about Pennsylvania's Global Access Grant Program. The GAP offers guidelines which may allow for grant funding in support of developing e-commerce tools. So Hillary, I hand it off to you before we give it back to Susanna. So thank you. Have a good webinar today.
Thank you, Dorta. So as Dorta mentioned, we have the Pennsylvania Global Access Program, or GAP funding, and this is designated to enhance the capability of small to mid-sized PA companies to increase their export sales. So it's administered by the Pennsylvania Office of International Business Development and provides up to $10,000 per award period to qualifying Pennsylvania companies to reimburse up to 75% of qualifying expenses for specific promotion activities. This program is funded in part through a federal grant with the U.S. Small Business Administration. And we wanted to highlight a few of the export activities that are relevant to our conversation today that are eligible for the GAP funding. So these include website internationalization, and this includes things like design and development of your website with an international focus, translation of your website into foreign languages, and SEO maintenance and optimization. E-commerce is another item. This includes e-commerce platform fees, hosting and or maintenance fees, online market listing fees, and even setting up your website to accept international payments. One other item is digital and marketing media. This includes design and translation of any digital advertising or marketing media, and this can include audio and video and for social media as well. So if you're curious and you want any more information or the guidelines, you can email Dorta or myself, and we will help you out and get the information to you. So thank you.
Thank you very much, both Dorta and Hillary. I think it's great. You know, exporting is tough. It's not easy. Yes, there's a lot of benefits for the company, as Dorta was highlighting, but it's not easy. But it's fantastic to know that Pennsylvania companies have got real support on the ground, you know, a helping hand, a very generous helping hand. So that's fantastic to know. Just a quick introduction about who we are as a company as well. Dorta mentioned a bit. So we're a private company called IBT Online, and we're known as what's called a full stack digital marketing company. So we're an online marketing agency, but we're really known for two things. One is our focus on small to mid-cap companies, and the second is our focus on international. So if you're thinking about international websites, e-commerce, cross-border e-commerce, online marketing across the globe, that's our wheelhouse. That's what we do. And we're very pleased as well. We set out a series of programs called the Online Global Programs, which very much fit these STEP grants and these global access grants as well. They're designed to fit them. And we also are very proud that we signed an agreement, what's called a strategic partnership agreement with the U.S. Commercial Service. So we are the U.S. Commercial Service strategic partner for e-commerce. Us and Amazon, go figure. So we're very pleased about that. And if you want to learn more about the Online Global Programs, you can get in touch or whatever. But for now, let's look at our agenda and what we'll be talking about today. So we thought I'm going to give a very brief introduction about what kind of tools, what are the people thinking about when they talk about, you know, digital business tools, and what are we really seeing in today's market. And then we're going to hand over to Marnie, who's going to talk a little bit about manufacturing and their sort of success story exporting, or what kind of online tools did they use. After that, we're going to take it back and talk a little bit more about AI, what that means for online marketeers today, and some folks about some topics about e-commerce as well. We wanted also to make this a very, very practical webinar, things that you can take away from this webinar. So it's not just sort of taking, a landscape side. We thought we'd give you like a party bag. We'd give you things to take away from the webinar. So we're going to give you very practical things about trade shows in today's world. As Dorta mentioned, they require, in today's world, as far as we can see, they require some form of digital tools. Also distributors, how to manage them. There are amazing tools these days to look at them. So, and then some what we call easy wins. If you have not yet started that whole process of going internationally, have not yet started looking at your website and making it look more international, some easy wins for you. There's some time at the very end for some Q&A. We do encourage you. It's a small group. It's a wonderful time that you've taken. We realize you're all busy, running your business. You've taken an hour out of your day. Put away the other screen, put away the emails, put away your phone, sit back, cup of tea, relax and enjoy, and just take the time, put the questions in that you've never had the time to ask. There you go. So now's your moment. And with that, let's get started and looking at some online business tools, as they say. I wanted to give some big picture stuff. What we are seeing coming down the track, we from an online digital perspective, are some of these major things. AI, clearly, and the online marketing world, the online world has used AI from the very beginning. And that's, when you go on Amazon and you buy a pair of flip-flops and they say, these sandals, some people like these are nice sandals too. That's AI. Google's algorithms, AI. The way you do marketing, the way Google tells you which AdWords to use is AI driven. Obviously, generative AI, the LLMs, are very transformative, a whole different level. And we'll talk about that. Another big sort of tidal wave we're seeing is e-commerce, not just B2C, but B2B e-commerce too. And we're seeing increasing demand and insistence from prospective buyers that there's some form of e-commerce enablement in a website. That doesn't mean to say that you have to have a full e-commerce enabled website, but just that websites today can somehow be interactive to some point. If a prospective client comes on and he says, I want that widget, and I'm looking at this one as well, put them together, and then maybe a line configurator here, request a quote. If he's done that, that's a form of e-commerce. It doesn't have a payment gateway. It doesn't have a delivery network, but it has a request a quote. We'll talk a bit about that, what that means. So if you're thinking about e-commerce, just think about, it's not just the full level of like a Shopify site that you need. The other things are really not to be talked about today. Each one is major things that are happening on the online world. And you'll see this again and again. With AI, you also have its opposite, this need for personalization and community. Data privacy, big topic. Don't ignore it. Compliance, big topic. Don't ignore it. But time for that, another one. Just to give you also a big picture view about who's online today. Who is online? Well, guess what? We're all online. We're a heavily populated universe or Earth planet with 8 billion of us, 5.6 billion mobile phones, and nearly the same number of people using the internet, which means that the internet is everywhere at all times. It's on your phone. You're walking around with the internet. Your clients are walking around with the internet all the time as well. And almost all of them are on social media. The thing that staggers me, 6 hours and 40 minutes a day. So 5.3 billion people are spending 6 hours and 40 minutes a day online. It's like, get a life. No, we're all online. So it's not just you and I at the office and so on. We're all online. If you are a small mid-cap company based in Northwest Pennsylvania, this is good news for you. You know where your prospective clients are. They're all online. You know how to reach them, social media and your website. So that's it. And in the US, we think we're really, really online all the time, that we're using it. You know, how do I use brand research? What do I do for brand research? Well, I go online, right? US is far behind. We are far behind most of the world. If you look at this graph, hold on, where's the graph? Next slide. There we go. If you look at this graph, all these lines, the big blue arrow is the USA. The white line is the worldwide average. So the USA is way to the right of the worldwide average on looking for using the internet for research for brands, not just B2C brands, but B2B brands too. So that's just a sort of some quick overview things there that I also want to say. The takeaway from that part is internet's important. It's like, yeah, we know that, but it's really, really important if you're an exporter. It's really, really important if you're looking to reach out to international markets. It is the way that you can effectively do that. And with that, I'm going to turn to Marnie and talk a bit about what we've called a Pennsylvania success story for exporting and reed manufacturing. Marnie.
Thank you, Susanna. I appreciate that. Reed has been working with IBT in a monthly program for over 2 years, so we'll be celebrating 3 years. And we considered working with IBT, I would say probably 5 years before we even signed up for the program. And I think it's true, and Dorta might be able to confirm this, but a lot of these small and medium-sized, and Reed considers ourselves medium-sized, you don't jump into something quickly because you need to make the most of your limited resources, and you want to make sure that you're getting a partner who's going to put you where you think you need to be and give you the expertise that you are definitely lacking. And that's what we felt that we were getting with IBT, plugging in some of the holes and making the connections that we weren't able to make on our own. Many of us in Northwest PA are running small businesses. So your departments like us, for our in-house marketing department, we are just 2 people. We have lots of freelancers that work for us, but we're just 2 people and we're trying to cover the world. And some days we look at each other like, how are we going to do this? As sales were growing and things did change with COVID, as far as a webinar like this, how many in a week could you have now compared to what you had 5 to 8 years ago? You might have had 1 a month, and now you're having them all the time. We're much more connected, and we needed to figure out how to appear bigger to the world than the reality of what we were able to accomplish on our own. So in comes IBT with their programs that they could provide for localization of content, both through website development and through social media reach. There's a whole catalog of capabilities that IBT can offer, and I can only speak to the ones that Reed has chosen to participate in. Before we contracted with IBT, we did have our own website in 5 or 6 different languages. So that was not a piece of the puzzle that we felt that we needed, but we did need a way to get these website pages and these products and all this translation investment that we had done out to the world, and in comes social media marketing, which is the way that we have reached 2 different areas, Latin America plus Mexico. And then our newest area is a reach of a program into China that Hillary actually provided some background help for us in that one. So we have been quite connected to both of these agencies as we have made our way into this adventure of taking Reed to the world. Localizing the message is very important, and we had heard that in webinars in the past, so we knew that proper translation of the website was good. IBT comes in and we use their services for managing our Google accounts, for keyword advertisements, for managing our, they help us with our YouTube accounts because we double post at least right now, for YouTube videos. If we make one in English and it has application to another language, we will get the translations made and then double post there. But what good is all this content if you're not sharing it with anybody? Not sharing it the way you need to. So we brought in the regional manager both for Latin America and then later for China to help us figure out what they thought they needed. We've had joint meetings with IBT for, yep, there's a picture of Hector in his blue shirt. He was so super excited that we were going to make this investment in his region, that he could count on us to reach the Latin America market with the resources that we had. And it has made a really big difference in his territory. First year, their sales were over 50% increase in what they had been before. Now I'm going to, put a little caution in there because some of the numbers that you compare to are coming out of COVID, and Latin America was much more hard hit than we were in the US. It was harder for them to pivot back. So his numbers look super, super shiny, but at least 20% over what, he might have done without any kind of help. I think it's important for the small and medium manufacturers to consider this as a reasonable investment. Often, I believe we want to plug maybe more staff into our businesses, and we're just unsure about taking the step into using a third-party service, and how's that going to work, and isn't it going to be super expensive? I want to say that IBT helped us to tailor the program to the pieces that we felt that we were missing. Joelle was quite patient. We needed a lot of back and forth of what were those pieces. Where could Reed take care of things on our own, and where did we need some help? And I felt like we did a good job netting out the areas where we needed assistance. I will, for the sake of transparency, say that we did pick up another third-party partner, which I think only strengthens our program with IBT. This partner is a video production company that's located in the country of Peru, and they have taken some of these videos that I've mentioned. We were previously had a system where we wanted to add Latin American voice to a video, so we had a person that worked for us, and they would literally phone it in to WhatsApp, and the video team could scrape the voice off WhatsApp and put it over top. Now we've moved past this. We have this partner in Peru that helps dress up the videos, giving us a real Latin America flair to it. And I think that it makes us seem like it makes people know that we have made an investment in doing this localized marketing. Our China campaign that I mentioned is just getting off the ground. And it is completely different than the things that we've done in Latin America. We can, in Latin America, do a lot of the same things that you might think of doing in the United States if you want to market. You need to get on, you have to have great ads on Google, and you've got to have your Instagram accounts because they love, love, love seeing those pictures. And you must have video because everybody watches video. For China, the customer is a different culture, and the customer has different expectations. So we are making our way through that with our new program. We are really in our beginning stages here. We're just 2 months into actual advertisements. But we were finding for China, there's so many rules to try to get through in order to get your message to the tool users, because we are marketing B2C. We don't sell B2C, but we market B2C. We then expect that consumer to go to one of our authorized distributors to make their purchase. But we have to get them in the door in the first place. And in China, we needed a way to get them a truthful message with our messaging. And we've been working on it. We are making inroads. We are seeing more traffic coming our way. So we are going to continue with this, learning how to meet this customer halfway. with the types of questions that come up when you get into a new advertising or marketing program, plus you're trying to reach a region that it simply is a different culture and you've got to apply some different rules. But the IBT team, we have a leader for this one, Chumin is her name, and she is helping us to understand the nuances of how we need to appeal to these users and what they expect back from Reed. Those were the key things that I wanted to say. I feel like our partnership with IBT does make Reed appear more professional to the world, because we were finally able to take all those pieces that we've been working on and figure out how to share them to get the feedback and eventually to lead to increased sales. If I've forgotten something, please let me know.
Marnie, that's fantastic. We wanted to ask people as well if they want to learn more about international websites. If so, let us know. We can then, send you we point you in some links, or send you some ebooks or infographics. We can point you in the right direction if you have an interest in that. If you want to learn more about these international websites. Otherwise, thank you very, very much indeed. Thank you also for replying. Marty, we have questions at the end, I know, but there's just one or two that's come in now, which might be of interest for you. Just if I could just sling that to you right now. It's just
Okay.
One question is, I think, quite pertinent. You mentioned that your Spanish distributor was happy with it. What has been the overall reaction with distributors when you give them when you're producing their content?
They seem to really respond to it. So we will notice it mostly through the metrics that we measure. How many people are viewing it? Sometimes it's as simple as how many little thumbs up are flashing across the screen, and you can tell that they appreciate that we went the extra step and brought it to them in the language and the flavor of their region, so that they can tell that we are invested.
Okay, great. We're going to save the rest of the questions for a bit later, but thank you very much, Marnie. That was great. There's a few more questions have come in. We'll save them for a bit later. Let's now talk just very, very sort of broad brush about some of the big AI things that we're seeing. And again, this is very much on the top end of things. Really, from an online perspective, marketeers have been on the forefront of AI and generative AI, these LLMs, from the very start. That's why these companies like whether it's ChatGPT, OpenAI, Microsoft Copilot, all of them are very much oriented towards marketing and the big marketing companies. And so that's why Facebook are getting involved in it. There's really, I think, a couple of big things. I'm not going to talk about the pitfalls and worries about AI, because that's a whole big bucket which I think we can delve into. But if we just look at the positive side, what do they bring as a potential for us in terms of productivity? It's really about that. It's really about productivity that we have. AI is a really good tool for search engine optimization, for not just getting out new keywords, but for analyzing the fast changing pace of keywords that are being used and keywords that are used and key phrases used over different platforms. So the whole idea, for example, of social listening is also very much an AI empowered trend. Social listening sounds kind of spooky. It is, and it basically tracks anything that's being talked about. We'll say, okay, social listening for Reed manufacturing, for example, and anything that mentions Reed manufacturing across, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, will be collected instantly. This is very good for B2C companies especially, but it sounds a bit too much for most companies. But what it really works well at is occasionally doing that, especially if you have new product launches, or if you're seeing price erosion, or if there's a big event happening, then you can focus in on this for a short period of time and try and figure out what is really going on. So why are the prices having that pressure? What is your competitor doing that's stealing market share? And that's really a very powerful tool. Otherwise, improving content creation, obviously, with all the possible hallucinations that AI can produce. But it is a great tool to be productive in terms of first drafts, strong working drafts, and things. So that whole content creation aspect is really helpful. And just again, just having just saving time. And what we would do in terms of marketing is create what are called GPTs, which are sort of entities that allow you to focus very much on a persona. So, for example, the persona you would build that equates to the prospective buyer for a company. You then write the content for that. Again, a very strong tool. AI for exporters. We've talked quite a bit about translations. Translation is increasingly an online service, a machine translation, and then sort of a proofreading exercise by the local person and sprinkling in the right keywords. So that again is a productivity gain. And this whole personalization, again, this is what I talked about before about creating these GPTs, which allows you to define your buyer persona in different markets, which is really good. Real-time analytics, that's for Joelle. She loves analytics. So and just it's the data that you need to say what is working, because online marketing, like everything online, it's all about the detail. It's all about that extra point, that extra word, that extra GIF, whatever it is that makes the difference between a right and a wrong, a good and a bad. For that, so that's that real time. And we were talking before about this, about sort of how things, how things get faster for productivity. And for example, if we look at AI powered digital marketing, there's some lists on this next slide that I'm going to show you in particularly for SEO and content creation. I just wanted to share one example, and this is what we were talking about before the webinar started. Amongst ourselves, we were saying we now at IBT, we all have Copilot, and for Microsoft Copilot. And so in a meeting, you record the meeting, you have the transcription of the meeting, and then you ask Copilot to give you a summary and the action items for all the meeting. And it's not perfect, but it's a really strong draft. And you just take that, and it really helps you. It saves you hours of work. So that's a classic sort of productivity gain that you can use with AI. Again, some of these major things that we're looking at, this very personalized marketing that you can do with AI, this personalization, which is so necessary in today's AI world. And if we look at just skipping down sort of into e-commerce, and AI and e-commerce are very interwoven. If we look at e-commerce across the world, the USA, by the way, is barely just 12% of total e-commerce. The rest of the world is 88% of e-commerce around the world. So again, the USA is just slightly behind the worldwide average for that. And that's for B2C, and similar numbers for B2B. E-commerce is also absolutely powered by AI. All those things that you see at the end of your Amazon and your the alternatives, all that is AI empowered and driven. And you'll see it again and again in today's world, this sort of increasing reach of AI into e-commerce. B2B e-commerce is sometimes neglected by engineering companies. They tend to say, oh, we're such wonderful products, we don't really need e-commerce as well. But B2B e-commerce is about 3 times the size of B2C. And since the pandemic, the step up has been absolutely enormous. So on this slide, this comes from a report by Statista. The numbers are shocking, actually, in terms of just B2B penetration of e-commerce. And I wanted just to highlight that, e-commerce today doesn't mean that you have to have like a Shopify website and little product guides and a cart. It just means you have to have some kind of reach with your website, some kind of interactability, if that's the word, so that your user can go on to a website and say, I'll have one of those, and 3 of these, and 2 of those, and I'll have 2 of those as well. And that's building a cart. And that cart ends up as a request to quote that's sent in. Now, think about that. That is a sales qualified lead. Any salesman anywhere is going to be going yes when he gets that. That is a sales qualified lead. So the prospective buyer does not want to have someone phoning him up saying, hi, let me introduce myself. I work for so-and-so. Would you like to buy our whatever? No, he wants to go and find you. He wants to go and check it out. He will check out your website, see what he likes, pick what he likes, ask you for a quote. The salesman then can say, fantastic, thank you so much. Those ones don't actually match, better to have this one, and then bring in the value added. So that is what we're seeing in terms of e-commerce today, especially for the B2B. This request to quote, which ends really as a sales qualified lead. I think that's the important thing to remember here. It's incredibly enabling for a sales team today. E-commerce, we have basically a little checklist to have for your e-commerce. If you're looking at e-commerce today, the important thing is to put yourself in the shoes of the buyer. It's being respectful of the local buyer. Your local buyer, if that person is sitting in Germany, then you want to say, what does the person in Germany want to see? They want to see, they want to see more data sheets. They want to see this, that sort of thing. What does the person in Mexico want to see? They want to see a WhatsApp number because they don't like to, So what are the specifics for that market? And all of those payment methods, they have to be, you can't do Amex because that's not eligible in, I don't know, France or whatever. So that all those things have to be right for the local buyer, for your local buyer persona, not you sitting in Northwest Pennsylvania. I think that's the key we wanted to bring out. And then I guess the last thing, and I hope that this resonates a little bit with what Marnie was saying. From our perspective, combining your website with digital marketing is incredibly powerful for your sales guys and for your local distributor. If you have a distributor sitting there in Peru or in Japan or wherever it is, Quebec, what tools do they need today to sell your products? What do they need? They need a website. They need a website in Japanese, and they need a manga comic in Japan, or they need a WhatsApp number in Mexico. They need tools for their local market, and they need the online marketing presence of that local market, wherever that is. That's what your distributor needs these days to sell your products. You can't just say, sell my products and just I don't know, here's a couple of samples, some paper brochures. It doesn't work anymore. So we would say, it's the best tool you can give your distributors. It's a fantastic tool. And with that, I think I'm going to pass over to Joelle, unless we have any more polls. But anyway, over to Joelle, perhaps talk about some takeaways that you can have as well, which are somehow connected to this. Joelle, talk about trade shows.
Susanna, thank you so much. And indeed, I just wanted to take a little moment, and I know everyone has put the questions in, so we'll save the time for the Q&A at the end. But I just wanted to touch base on a couple of pointers, and I think both Dorothy and Marnie, you've touched upon those that we often see as being maybe a little bit overlooked when we talk about digital and AI and e-commerce. There are pieces like trade shows and your distributors. It seems to be somewhat perceived as detached from that. But I just wanted to, really highlight, starting from trade shows, how digital solutions really are key to a successful trade show. So we've seen a lot of changes, from not having trade shows at all at the beginning of COVID, and then going into full digital now. hybrid. So whether, it's a hybrid trade show or an in-person event, your prospects, your current clients, your distributors, your partners, they all expect you to have a digital strategy and to provide an experience for them where they can, as Susanna, you were mentioning, they can reach out to you, this personalized, that they really helps them find the information and connect with you in different ways, the way they prefer, the platform they prefer, when they're ready, and to communicate with you on what they need. And really, this is very true for trade show. If anything, is specifically true for trade show. And personalization and AI here can come very much into play as, you are at the event, you'll be meeting prospects. There are at very different stages of what we call the buyer's journey. Some of them might have interacted with you before. Some of them might be really new to your brand. Some of them might be an existing customer that maybe hasn't come back in years. So all of these really is, very important to understand and to be able to cater to their different needs and what they want. So to me, it's important. I just wanted to highlight here that digital strategies can really help you create more opportunities to connect, to interact. And, trade shows offer not just the week of the trade show. We all know, we talk, Marnie, regularly when there are big trade shows, how long it can take to set up an event and to run the event. So I just wanted to run you through a few thoughts or a few ideas on how you can really use digital tools to maximize your attendance to the trade show. To me, to us, our programs, everything we do to support trade show really starts up to 10, 12 weeks before the event. So once you're ready, we call this your pre-show strategy. Is all about preparation and marketing. The big lead up to the event is a crucial time to to really set yourself up for success, really maximizing opportunities. And this is the time to really implement a targeted marketing strategy that really can create, bespoke strategies through, website. We always say, use your website. If you have a homepage that is customizable, add a banner, tell everyone where you're going to be. Not everyone will be at the event, but just tell everyone, tell them you're there and put it on your website. But also dedicate a landing page. And we'll go through that in a moment. Build a page on your website that you can use to really promote your attendance at the event. This will be able to have a call to action that will tell people, how to get in touch with you, where you're going to be at the event. And this is particularly relevant for those users that come to the website and are interested, but also all of those people that you might be able to reach through social media. Really, really great tool to have some targeted marketing, telling people that you're excited about the event, letting them know that you'll be there, but also giving them the opportunity to perhaps reach out to you in the 8 weeks. Maybe they want to book an appointment. Maybe they're already in contact. They will also be there. They want to reach out. So it's great success. They're all great opportunities to leverage that event as a touch point and making sure that you can reach existing and new prospects that you're very likely to then encounter and be able to meet and liaise with when you are on site, and really effectively network with them and nurture existing leads. Videos, Marnie, you gave us some fantastic examples of what, in collaboration with Pac-Un we've been able to deliver. I always say video speaks louder than 1,000 images. So if you can create some videos, you don't need a big production. You can go out with your phone, take some videos of your facilities, take some videos of what you do, and all of that can then be really used throughout your promotion, but also at the trade show to show people what you're all about, to show people what your brand is all about. And all of that is easy to come by and very easy to localize as well. Sometimes making a video can be a lot easier than writing a big blog or like a long piece of content. The last piece here is email marketing, which is something that a lot of people, think, they say email is dead. I strongly disagree with that. I think we receive so many emails and yet we somewhat read them. And if we see something that catches our eye, we do engage with it. So this is another great opportunity to leverage your existing database, letting people that you know might be at the event, letting them know you're going to be there, give them an opportunity to come back to your landing page, which will give them an opportunity to get in touch with you. So all of this very much is important and is your opportunity to let everyone know you're going to be there, maximize the return on investment for the event. and kind of setting yourself up for success, because we know how much work there is in actually planning and then attending the event, and you want to make sure that you shout about it. And one thing I noted here in the slide, because it's something that we often find when we talk about it with our corporate clients, remember to tell everyone at your company. They could do the same. They could put it on their LinkedIn. They have a meeting. They could talk to the distributors. They could also let them know. So don't hesitate to, it might sound redundant, but let everyone know, because it could be a very big helping hand. Just very quick, I wanted to show you some examples and why a landing page is key, and why you should take a little time to design one. This, to me, very much, having an online landing page that is bespoke to the event you're attending to is really a priority, or should be a priority. So take the time to design a strong landing page, which has all of the relevant content for the event, really, situate the company credibility within the industry, and offers a form of, a contact form, a call to action, any way that you would prefer for them to get in touch with you, whether you have a calendar booking system, whether you have a WhatsApp group they can join, whether you have just a simple form they can submit, give them the options. And again, just a note, I think it's key to say that a landing page is key to any kind of event. You've all been to a landing page to sign up to this event today, and you'll be to a landing page if you see a company go into one of the big trade shows. So this is very important. It really is a real value add. And there are a couple of things here that you can take away from your event strategy. Again, just to, once you are there, you've got your bespoke landing page. I've just highlighted them in the next slide. Your social media, invest in a little bit of videos, and then don't forget to tell your network. Again, use your social media, use your CRM, let everyone around you know that you're going to be there, and then you're taking your brand is part of the industry, is intrinsic to that, and that you're going to be ready for that. My favorite part, when you get to, I've done a fair few trade shows, and I know that maybe some people won't agree with me, that's my favorite part, but once you actually get to the event and you're there for that week and you get to engage with everyone, I think, Dorothy, you shared with us that, QR codes are key, and not everyone might like them, but I just wanted to share some examples of what I think is a really nice and engaging booth. And these I bring you some examples from national drugstores who invest in some key events throughout the year, and they really are fully committed to, very much incorporating their website into that. But also, I want to say here, don't forget to add a QR code. People are passing by, you might be busy at the booth, you might be busy talking to other people. If somebody's not quite ready, give them an option, give them an opportunity to get in touch with you later. They come back again, as Susanna, with your smartphone, you take a picture of that, it takes you to the website, it takes you to the landing page, and that gives them an opportunity to get in touch with you, and gives you an opportunity to get in touch with them again after the event. So to me, very much a QR code is just enhancement of the omni-channel experience that your prospect wants and is somewhat expected these days. So I just wanted to show this as an example, as a key takeaway that hopefully some of you will be able to implement at one of the future events. Before I move on to the second half of what I wanted to discuss today, just one key element I wanted to highlight, because I feel this is something that is often overlooked. We all come back from a week at a trade show. We are exhausted. You have a lot of leads to process. You've got all of the work that's been piling up in your inbox because no one's been able to follow that up once you were at the trade show. But your post-event strategy is something that you can use those 10 weeks to plan for. But here is really, really key. The event is hot in everyone's mind. They remember you from the event. This is the time to really harness your CRM, your customer relationships manager software, whether you use Zoho, Salesforce, HubSpot, any CRM that you might have, a spreadsheet. Do make sure that you follow up, send them a nurturing email, set up something that will remind them about the brand, will remind them about your products, will remind them about what you've discussed, and gives them the time. And again, the touch point to come back to your website, and buys you that little bit of time to prepare the bespoke quote that you've promised to everyone, and maybe you are not quite able to deliver day 2 once you're back at your desk. So to me, harnessing your CRM, email marketing, and again, if you have recorded any videos at the booth, if you have given a presentation, if you have developed any collaterals that you've shared at trade show, use those, put them on your website, share them on social media, email them out again. All of this is fantastic collaterals you can really use to, again, maximize your return on investment for your trade show for the 3-4 weeks once you're back. So 1 week event really turns into 3 months opportunity. So that's why I just wanted to highlight how digital tools can really help you maximize what 5-6 years ago was seen as, you know, a pure physical event and was really out of anything that was considered to be digital. One last, Susanna, and I promise I'm conscious of time and I want to make sure that we have time for everyone's questions. I just wanted to spend 2 seconds to, again, very nicely linking back to something that, Marnie, you touched upon when you were discussing about how Reed is perceived and how you've used, you know, we've worked together to develop some of those channels and some of those marketing collaterals to showcase the Reed brand globally the way we want it to be perceived. We want them to see that you're sophisticated, that you are committed to the market, but also that, you know, you have all of the right channels, your understanding of the market, you have all of the right tools, and that all builds what your brand is. And your brand really is how you're perceived. And Susanna, I think you mentioned, is your best defense against price erosion. If people understand and buy into your brand, then you have a customer for life. So your brand really is your most valuable asset. And that comes at a huge advantage, but you also need to be a little bit mindful of protecting your brand. So it's often true when you work with a network of distributors that you own the, you know, you own the website, that you keep control of how your brand is perceived, but also that you show your distributors that you are committed to them and you're sharing this brand real estate with them. So I just wanted to share here a couple of examples, like real life examples of how, I think Marnie shared the best there with Hector's video, which I absolutely love, by the way. I wish we could have played it in that slide, but he's really giving it his all. Here is another example from a Wisconsin-based company, Amsoil, who are, we've been working with them to support the distributors worldwide. We are currently active across 7 different localized websites. And what really they're doing here, and there's a trend we're seeing a lot lately, is companies using their branded website and building on the brand equity to then direct users to the distributor network. So the big goal here is to drive people, you know, to the Amsoil websites in language, in market, building that brand equity. But then the big call to action is to support the distributors by leading them to find the best distributor in the market. So Amsoil here very much handles the marketing, handles the brand, builds that equity, but then supports their distributor by sending them valuable leads, valuable customers, and that helps them grow their sales. They feel supported, and then it's a fantastic relationship whilst everyone is pushing towards the same goal. The last bit here, I've called it managing distributors, which sounds maybe a little bit negative, but all I wanted to mention here is that, again, digital tools and your website allows you to do this, and it's really important to be able to monitor, you know, how well a distributor is doing, but also how much, you know, to, I suppose, to also let them know that they're cared for and say, hey, this is what we're doing for you. This is the traffic that we're sending. So monitoring the kind of engagement that we're getting market by market and that the distributor can expect, and supporting them. So the website is a fantastic point, you know, of, let's say you develop a new ebook, or you develop a new spec sheet. How can you make sure that everyone in your distributor and sub-distributor network receives it? Put it on your website, let them use your website, build a website in language they can use, their customers can use, and they can go back and refer to that time and time again. So again, I just wanted to reiterate how the localized website is not just for the end customer, is not just for the brand, but is a shared equity piece that is really important to manage as a company, but also to be able to share and to use to support your network, grow your network even, which is something I'm not going to go into today. Distributor acquisition through localized efforts as well is something we discuss often, but I just wanted to put those in there because when we talk about AI and e-commerce, I feel those two are fairly overlooked sometimes. They're not really seen as part of the same digital sphere, but I just wanted to put it out there and hopefully provoke a little thought and a few questions for the end or for later if we don't have time. But Susanna, I'll hand it back over. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joelle. We're sort of rounding up now, and then we have a few minutes for question times as well. We wanted to leave you also with some thoughts about where you can go if you haven't. Reed Manufacturing has been around for what, about 130 years or so. Marnie, you've been exporting for a while, so you experienced exporter. But what happens if you're out there in Northwest Pennsylvania and you're just thinking about it? So I think the main message we wanted to bring over today is just to make sure that you look at your digital assets. Look at your website, look at your online marketing and your digital assets and say, are they working hard for us? Are they doing what they should be doing? And some of the basics, please make sure that they are mobile enabled, that they look good on a phone, that the speed is up, and that they load up. And Google says more than 2 seconds, and it's not good for a website. So 2 seconds. Is it optimized? Are there these terms like metadata, alt tags, hreflangs, all those things that a webmaster knows how to do. Make sure that your webmaster is doing them. Imagery is so important. Just make sure those things at least for your website. Make sure that. And then some easy wins if you're looking on the international side. Joelle has mentioned your URL. Please know what your URLs are. Don't give them to distributors. Those are very valuable real estate. They're online real estate. Don't hand them away. Don't keep them, So, Pennsylvania Company.de is for your German URL. Don't give it to a German distributor because then they own that real estate. Don't keep it. Know what it is. Make sure that you own them, the important ones at least. And then a couple of major things, if you're very often someone go on some website and just, I don't know if they can even export because they look kind of like a small little Pennsylvania company, and I don't know, they don't show that they ever exported ever in their lives. And then you find out the company's been exporting for years. Boast, showcase it, say yes, made in Erie, sold to the world, made in Northwest Pennsylvania, sold globally, whatever it is you want to say. Post it, because it takes a lot of trust to get someone to actually click on a website, to engage on a website, to fill out a form. So that trust is being built very quickly, and you have to build that trust very quickly and very dynamically with your audience, and making get in touch easy. Highlight your wins, talk to the world, and then the last one is focus. If you have, very often clients come to us and say, well, I've got these like 10 different markets, and no, start with low-hanging fruit, start with one, learn the easy one first, and then build out. Don't spread too thin. And then last thing we would say is basically empowering your sales and marketing team. The thing I love about online tools is that it's all about your top line. It's all about empowering your sales and marketing team. So, people like Marnie, they know this. They sit there giving leads to their sales team. And your digital assets to do that for you. They do tools that help your sales and marketing team. So adding banners, adding things. And this is what I say to clients is, bring your sales and bring your websites and online marketing into your sales marketing team. You got a sales team once a week. Think about bringing that, what effect does that have on your website? You're going to a trade show? What should we do on the website for that? We got a new product launch? What should we say about our website? We got a new hire? Well, let's put it on LinkedIn. Bring those assets into your sales and marketing team. We got like 2 minutes for question time. There's a couple of very specific questions. By the way, you can find lots more information on our website. In the resources section of our website, they're all free to download, and we're always happy to help. Questions? You have our email addresses as well at the final slide. There's a couple of questions in that are quite specific to specific areas like sort of East Africa and that, which I think there's a couple though in from Marnie, if I could. Marnie, just for you. 2 questions. Do you have any tips to recommend about ROI and how to measure your ROI? very broad question.
So my tips are to pay attention to your metrics, which IBT helps us with because we market to the consumer, but we do not sell to the consumer. The ROI is difficult for us. We look at it just based on the regional sales. So I can go in and look at Mexico and see how it was doing last year, how it's doing this year. And we are watching our sales, and that is the best way that we are measuring those metrics to know if it's making a difference.
Perfect. Fits totally in with Joelle, the data queen. Data analysis. Dorota and perhaps also Hillary, we have one or two, which is like the STEP grants you said cover e-commerce, cover marketing. Do we apply via you? Do we apply via IBT Online?
You would apply to your regional export network. So if you're located in the Northwest PA corner, the 8 counties that we serve, you would apply to us, and we will process the application for you. But the Office of International Business Development is actually making the decision of grant funding, so they would have to approve it. So we will send it on to OIBD. If you're located outside of our region, please contact us. We will refer you on to our regional export network partner in other regions of Pennsylvania.
Thank you. Absolutely. Just to make clear, we have nothing to do with STEP. Just we just build websites. There are other questions which are quite specific on tech about e-commerce platforms. The quick answer is that we prefer WooCommerce. But if you are just starting out and you're B2C, then Shopify is perfect. Then it's recommended Shopify. But if you have bigger ambitions and possibly a B2B company, we would strongly recommend that you look at WooCommerce. What I would say is that for both of them, you need to make sure that you're on the right platform from the beginning, because once you start that journey, it's very hard to back out and into a new system, a new software tool. So take your time when you choose your platform is the key on that one. There's also another little question about what platforms to use for international websites. What CMS to use. We would recommend just WordPress. It's fantastic. It's a great platform to use for global websites as well as U.S. domestic ones. That we've slightly overrun our time, so I'm going to bring a halt to those questions. If there are any other ones that we didn't answer, we'll get back to you directly through email. I wanted to give a big shout out to Marnie. Thank you so much, Marnie, for your time, for your experience, for sharing all that. That's really great and much appreciated. Companies always want to hear from companies. It really rings much truer. So we really appreciate your time. Thank you very much, Marnie, and for sharing those experiences. Dorota and Hillary, as always, for organizing it, for thinking of it, for calling us. Thank you so much, and for all that you do in helping Pennsylvania exporters. We applaud you. Thank you very much indeed. And we look forward to next times and things. And Joelle, of course, my colleague, as always, great job. Thank you. And to all of you listening, thank you very much for attending, for sharing your hour and your time with us. We appreciate it. We hope to see you in person at a trade show, in our offices, your offices, whatever. Thank you all very, very much. Happy exporting and continue.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.